This is Ben Landesman with Lawson Screen and Digital Products.
This is Deborah Sexton.
This is Peter Walsh with M&R.
Scott Ritter with the Decorated Apparel Expo.
And you are listening to Two Regular Guys
Podcast.
It's hosted by Terry Combs and Aaron Montgomery.
A gift to the industry.
Well, all right. Welcome to the show. It is Friday, May 8th, 2020. I'm Terry Combs. You can find me at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me over at oursuccessgroup.com. Today, we're going to be talking arts and crafts and sublimation with Tonya and Ashley from Artesprix. And Terry, you just got in my head, so just FYI, inside joke there.
I noticed there were no last names mentioned there.
I'll get it back. We'll be good. So anyways, we are excited to have this conversation. Really cool stuff that they've got going on over there at Artesprix. And there may even be some show and tell happening here. So if you are a podcast listener and you're checking this out after the fact on the podcast, make sure you pop back over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/2regularguys and check out the video version so you can see everything that's going on too. But also just
as a writer, I'll try to be incredibly descriptive about what's happening. So
there we go. Awesome. All right. Well, we have lots of folks checking in with us already here this morning, Terry. So definitely the regulators are showing up in full force because they're excited about what we're talking about today. So we've got Gina checking in. Hello, Gina. And Cindy King and Todd Downing and Lisa Armstrong and Artesprix in the comments as well. Double duty today. So really awesome. And Cheryl, and in fact, Cheryl mentioned earlier before the show got started that she's inviting them, the ladies here, Tonya and Ashley, over to her group next. So there you go. The invite is out there in the public, Cheryl. So Richard and
no guest stealing.
It's okay. As long as it's after, right? So anyhow, we could keep going. Richard, Kim, Martha, Terry, Rena, Christine. They're all coming. So we appreciate you guys being here. David Shaw. We could spend the whole show just saying hi to everybody. So let's keep moving, Terry. Let's start off with some news before we bring in our guests here. Last week, without much fanfare, actually, we did not have a big party like we did for 300th, but last week was actually our 350th episode, so that makes this 351. So just, shout out to us, but really shout out to the regulators and everybody that, helps us, all of the amazing guests that we've had over 350 episodes, and the regulators and Eric Campbell, who's made this program way more than it ever was. And all of that stuff. So big shout out to them. Obviously, as things are changing in our world, Terry, definitely every other news feed I see is like, oh, new podcast, new this, new that. And, hey, that's cool.
Sure, absolutely.
It's a great medium, and we're all about it. We, one of our core values here at the decorators community is that abundance mentality. So we will joke and kid about the fact that, you can't steal guests and all that other stuff, but we love it. We love every bit of that. And, but we always get to hang our hat on the fact that, we were the original most listened to. And now, Terry, I think, like you said, it could be the most consistent. So, I don't think we've missed many Fridays.
Exactly right. And, 350 shows, most podcasts after show number 2 or 3, they kind of lose steam. And who knew 8 years ago when you said, this should be a podcast? And I'm like, really? You think you want to hear this?
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's just you definitely. We've had some lulls along the way too, where it's like, because like I said, we really wanted to thank all the guests. We've been really lucky to have just tremendous guests over the years, and that really keeps us going. But there are those times where it's like, okay, we've got no guests for next week. What are we going to talk about? Hey, you know what? The ability to show up and commune with our community here is really, really fun. Yeah. So, it makes those tough times worth it. And, but there is a lot of work in the background, and we're fortunate enough to have people like Eric helping us out, and Christine, and all the rest of the decorators community. So lots of fun.
We should do a retrospective sometime about all the craziness that's happened over the years. Like when you said, "Hey Terry, the guest didn't show up. What do you know about this subject?" I could do 45 minutes on it probably.
or the other one was when one of the guests couldn't get their internet to work very last second, and so we just interviewed Eric as if he was that guest, because it was he's something he knew about. So anyhow,
Matt Vassallo doing the interview from his car, because they were doing construction in his building and there was a lot of banging, so he was sitting in the parking lot.
yeah, and he said it was super hot and he was sweating like crazy. Anyhow, all right. Well, we've got some great guests to get to here today, but just wanted to make sure that we mentioned that, mainly as a way to thank all of you guys, all of the regulators.
Absolutely.
But also congratulations to you, Terry, and thank you very much, Eric. So,
and to you as well, Aaron.
Thank you, sir.
Your brainchild. So
we did it together. So it's, I was just happened to be listening to a podcast, so I was the one dumb enough to go, maybe we should do this.
How hard could it be?
Yeah, this will be totally easy. It won't change my life.
And if you'd said, and 8 years from now would be like at 350, I'd be like, nah.
No, that's not happening. All right. So let's get a couple of quick updates in. I know you've got some breaking news here. I wanted to share the latest DAX Minnesota update that came right off of their Facebook page. The good folks at DAX have been working really hard to make sure that we're kept up to date on everything that they can get. They've also have the same challenges that we all do, where things are very uncertain, and when you can't get a hold of people, certainly makes that even more challenging. Here's the update, read directly off of their Facebook page. As you are all getting used to at this point, situations are constantly evolving. Here in Minnesota, the stay-at-home order has been extended until May 18th. We had originally rescheduled DAX Minnesota for May 22nd through the 23rd. We are trying to get in touch with Treasure Island folks, but have not had any luck, as they are also shut down. So at this time, we are not able to officially offer any indication as to cancellation or rescheduling the show. The only statement we can make is that it's extremely unlikely that the DAX Minnesota show will occur on May 22nd to the 23rd. Once we know more, we will let you know next steps. So that's the latest on DAX. Like I said, they're working extremely hard to try to get us a little bit more concrete information, but certainly understand where they're coming from. As they said, it's extremely unlikely, so I would certainly not make travel plans at this point. So
I did officially cancel my flight, so finally.
Yeah, good. Okay. All right.
All my other flights have been moved to the end of the year, so.
Yeah. All right. So that's DAX Minnesota. Terry, what do you got?
Well, I got a text about 1 minute before we went on the air from Katie over at NBM, and this is official. The NBM Indianapolis show is now canceled, and NBM will be making an official announcement this afternoon. But you heard it first here. No NBM Indy, and that's I'm sure it was hard for those guys, because that is a really, really great show right there in the Midwest and really well attended. But it's a new world in 2020. Yep. So unfortunately, that's the case. But NBM is still hosting the breakaway session, and the topic is let's get back to business. And on May 20th, they'll be doing start with a panel discussion. Then they have 1 hour breakaway sessions by sponsors, and that will be available for 30 days after the event. And Katie tells me that the response to that has been huge. People are, the shows aren't happening, and people are really hungry for information. And Eric, if you get a chance to pop up that link to the NBM breakaway sessions, that'd be awesome. And Impressions Expo, more breaking news. This from yesterday, Impressions Expo Baton Rouge is that was scheduled for June 18th to 20. That has also been officially canceled, not postponed, officially canceled for 2020. And that's, by the way, if you are a speaker at Impressions Expos for 2021, you've probably already been notified that they've really shuffled the schedule around. I know one of my sessions has been moved for the second time, so it's the third time slot. But make sure you double check if you're one of the speakers that you have the right day and the right time for your session. And it's these are trying times for everybody. And gosh, trade show folks, they must be going nuts.
Yeah, I feel for them. So if you happen across a trade show person, give them a pat on the back and pick them up off the ground, because they've been taking some gut punches here for sure. So
I do know for a fact that NBM, DAX, and Impressions Expo, any of them would welcome you buying them a beer. So
correct. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And so, yes, if you can just send them a beer, just like Todd is sending Christine Fireball, you can send it. So
here's a virtual cup of coffee for you.
Exactly. All right. So yes, there we go. Virtual pats on the back are welcome. Can we get, I want to get a couple of comments back up a little further. Jeff had said when we were talking about the number of episodes that, and I'm trying to find it again. There we go. Hundreds of episodes and you haven't jumped the shark yet. So I don't know. How do we, that'd be interesting on a podcast. So
here's a factoid. When on Happy Days, when Fonzie jumped the shark, that's the term, jumped the shark.
Yes,
they went on for like 2 or 3 more seasons, so that really wasn't the end of that show.
Yeah, but I think it was the end of everybody going, okay, yeah, this is.
They got really,
and then it just drug it out
in a leather jacket.
Yeah, exactly. And then Lenny says, "Start your own business. It'll be fun," they said.
No one told you that, Lenny.
All right. Well, while we're having a little bit of fun, right, because we've got the guests we've got to get to here as quickly as we can, but we would be remiss if we did not have an appropriate dad joke. In fact, I keep getting comments on social media that, we are responsible for the extreme amounts of dad jokes that are being promoted throughout the industry. So we will take full responsibility for that and own it and love it. So, all right. So here it is. The dad joke for today, Terry. Why don't eggs tell jokes?
I don't know why.
They'd crack each other up.
Man, that's a dad joke.
It is a dad joke. All right. So good. Let's keep moving here. That was a fun one.
Hey, Aaron, before we go any further, we want to thank everyone for checking out the Two Regular Guys podcast. If you are listening to the podcast version, we would appreciate you sharing with your friends so they can become regulators too. We would love and appreciate you giving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever it is you're listening right now. And we are always looking for new guests. And if you or anybody else would like to join, go to calendly.com/2 regular guys, and let us know what your idea is. And if you are watching us right now, join in with your comments and questions. Reach out to your industry friends who might be just sitting at home doing nothing and say, hey, tune into the Two Regular Guys. You're going to have a lot of fun and new guests and new information today.
Yeah, this is going to be great. So let's hear a word from our platinum sponsor, Impressions Expo, and we'll go from there.
What is Impressions Expo? Impressions Expo, formerly ISS, is the premier trade show dedicated to the imprinted and decorated apparel industry. 5 shows are produced annually in each region of the U.S., including Long Beach, California, Atlantic City, New Jersey, Orlando, Florida, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Fort Worth, Texas. Each of the 5 annual shows also features over 30 seminars and hands-on workshops in categories such as screen printing, embroidery, digitizing, digital decorating, and much more. Visit impressionsexpo.com for more details and see us at the shows in 2020. Exclusively for Two Regular Guys listeners, the regulators, use the promo code REGULARGUYS, IE. Again, that is Regular Guys, IE, for a free Expo pass.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you, Impressions Expo. The young lady that had some problems, I need to delete that file. So
we should probably, anytime we interview somebody to be the spokesperson, we should say, can you say the word regular?
Yes. Yeah. She seemed really good on Fiverr when I tried it out. So anyhow. You win some, you lose some. It's okay. All right. So here we go, Terry. Let's get our guests in here. Let's get to what everybody came for here today. All right. So let's try this view here.
You guys
Yeah. Sorry, Eric. I'm pushing buttons. My bad. Don't push buttons, Aaron.
You promised you wouldn't do that.
I know. All right. Welcome into the show here. We've got Tonya Tremitiere. Did I get it?
Perfect.
Yes. Tonya Tremitiere is the COO and has spent her career with the parent company, Esprit Technologies, heading up sales and global marketing for a suite of digital imaging products and oversees the technical applications laboratory. Much of her career has been focused in the sublimation field, which through patent pending products such as the markers, stamp pads, and toner, enables the company to spin off the division and form Artesprix. Ashley, Nace, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, good. That's 2 for 2 today, Terry.
She sounded like, okay. But.
Yeah, I know. All right. So Ashley's a sales manager of Artesprix since fall of 2018. Artesprix Iron-On Ink is a complete line of sublimation products that allow artists and crafters to permanently personalize polyester-coated substrates with their own designs, with dozens of different sublimation marker colors to choose from, along with stamp pads, accessories, and blanks. You'll never run out of ideas for custom creative projects to make personalized products that last a lifetime. So, we're excited to get some of these ideas. So welcome in, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, hey, let's start here a little bit about your backgrounds and in the industry or outside the industry. Tonya, you go first.
Okay. So like Aaron said, I've spent my career with the parent company, Esprit Technologies. It's a chemical-based company. And we were really focusing on making specialty toners in the industry and really niche applications there. And that's when I began working in sublimation. You often see sublimation inkjet printers, but we really focused on the toner side of that printer. So we've spent 10 years developing various toners for different branded printers. And from that led us to some markers.
That's great. How about you, Ashley?
So I too come from the parent company. So I don't know if that people have been looking into Artesprix at all, but Artesprix is very new. Tonya is the brains behind the marker. So she was, at Esprit Technologies, as was I, and then we've done this spinoff. So she kind of pulled me out of the parent company as well to help her on this endeavor. And I'm so glad she did. It's been great. I come from a sales background before this, and I went to Auburn University down in Alabama. So
nice. So Tonya, as Ashley said,
War Eagle, right? War Eagle to all you listeners out there.
All right.
Well, my niece and nephew graduated from Auburn.
Oh,
and,
you're War Eagle for me then.
And my niece's daughter just graduated from Auburn. So
there you go.
Awesome. There we go. So Tonya, let's talk a little bit about Artesprix then. Ashley said it's new. So tell us more about it. Yeah, she said it was your brainchild. What did you see here? What need did you see that needed to be filled that caused you to say, hey, let's do this Artesprix?
Sure, no problem. So I was working on my master's and taking some courses. And one of the courses we were taking was systematic creativity in business. And we're reading some books such as Thinking Inside the Box. And after being in the sublimation industry for 10 years, we're all sort of, you see the same thing every day. You're just submersed, and it's very hard to be creative. And everyone always says, think outside the box, think outside the box. But our coursework was really focused on thinking inside of our box and really trying to create something new out of the experiences we already have. And a lot of my experiences with printer, when you make toner, you are putting a lot of raw materials together. Your formulations are extremely difficult, and it requires years of R&D. And then you'll have an OEM printer that is now being eliminated from the market, for example. So
Sure.
you're sort of always spinning your wheels, trying to keep up with everything, and that can be very frustrating.
Sure.
So we wanted to start looking at those printers and seeing what we could eliminate. I think I mentioned a couple other times, sort of like your phones.
Yes.
So you have, we had the Blackberries. Some people remember the Blackberries. You've got the keyboard and you're typing in it. And then you had Steve Jobs come in and he said, let's get rid of the keyboard. So they started deleting things on the phone to make it actually simpler. So I was looking at what frustrated me the most, and that was the printer and the expense of the printer. Right. So a printer is really expensive and not everyone can afford one. And we wanted to bring a product that anyone could become creative and anyone could make their t-shirt and anyone could make a book tag, a book bag tag,
Sure.
for example, and bring that price point down. So through that, we came up with the idea of take the ink out of the printer. What can we put it in? Let's put it in a handheld vessel, the marker, and we went from there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So real quick, Terry, before we get into the next question here, we do have a couple of comments here. In fact, Artesprix comment for all the information you need if you want to take a peek while we are on here to purchase our products. So we'll get all the information and links up for everybody to check that out. And then David Gross from Condi checking in this morning. So we appreciate having
David War Eagle. That's right.
Yeah, War Eagle. So there we go. I just wanted to make sure we got to that. So go ahead, Terry. Oh, we lost Terry's audio.
I'm sorry. That's for the people who say, okay, you're the Auburn Tigers, War Eagle. You know,
you got Alabama in itself in football, it's its own beast. You know,
Exactly.
they've got their elephants and the Tide, and we've got our War Eagle and Tigers. It's just a whole nother literal ball game in this.
We'll just say it dates back to the 1860s. We'll leave it there. But so Ashley, so where does Artesprix fit in this marketplace, in our marketplace today?
So when we came out with our original 10-pack in the beginning of 2018, we delved right into the sublimation businesses that are currently existing. You know, they were the ones that, you know, knew about the tape and the mirroring and the protective paper that you need when you make your sublimation sandwich. So since we were something that was new in itself, we thought we'd start with the people who know the most, right? So we had some great success there. A lot of our original dealers, you know, came on with the original 10-pack, which is great because they offer all the blanks and all the other things that you need, you know, to complete a full project with our markers. And then through that, we noticed that sometimes, even though those companies, they did have the solution, there were still other things that they were looking for. So for example, like they're looking for tape that's not exactly in a 3-inch size roll, right? They're looking for a tape that comes in a dispenser like this. So we created our own heat tape that fits in a Scotch size dispenser. So things like that. So we want to, in addition to offering the markers, we wanted to then be known as the people who are taking those tools and things that sublimation professionals have been using for years, like silicone paper and heat tape, and actually transferring them into a craft version for people to use. And it's actually, you know, and then it's something that they recognize, right? They recognize that this is tape. When you might see a 3-inch roll, you're like, is that tape? I don't know what that is. So
cool.
So that's kind of the idea there.
Yeah, that's definitely a great concept to help them recognize that a little bit more. So Ashley, while you're going here, talk to us about the marker products and you know, the acceptance and just kind of give us where that's played out and what you guys are seeing people use them for.
Sure. So we had the original 10-pack in 2018, and it went really well. The biggest feedback that we got was more colors, and we have over 200 colors developed, so that's good. We just debuted 3 new 6-packs. If you want to hold up that other one, because I'm not an octopus, right? So we have 3 new 6-pack pastels,
Cool.
And then we also have a pack of black. And the reason we came up with the pack of black, and we have to be totally honest, we say here at Artesprix that we're chemists gone crafters. After Auburn, I went to our local college here and studied in chemistry. And Tonya, before her master's, come from a science background. So we're chemists gone crafters. And so with that being said, we didn't know about these electronic cutting machines like the Silhouette and things like that. And they were taking the markers and the crafters were putting them in their cutting machines. And we said, so we're seeing what they're doing with our products. And we love that they fit, they work. So we came up with a black fine tip, a black round tip. And what's great about having that pack of 6, there's 2 each. You can designate one for handheld use and one for the electronic cutting machine. And then something else they were doing that, again, we're just watching and listening and watching them use our products. They were taking our markers and they were coloring on stamps. And because they're water-based, so you could just easily color on the stamp. And then for those who are not as artistically inclined, they were able to use that stamp. So then we said, okay, we hear you. We will come out. So we come out with a Sublimation stamp pad. And so this is black ink. So they're able to use those stamps that they use for card making and scrapbooking, dip them right here in the stamp pad, stamp them on regular copy paper. We always use regular copy paper here at Artesprix. And then they're
Do you mean typing paper? No.
Typing paper. It's funny. I was at Printing United in October, and I should have known to bring my own copy paper. I mean, you know how big that show is. I literally walk around. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to find any regular copy paper around here. So yeah, regular copy paper for us. So yeah, I always say typing paper. So yeah, that's the idea.
When I first got into the industry, and yes, whatever, it was a long time ago. We used to screen print sublimation ink onto 20-pound typing paper, which is now copy paper. So I always have to throw that typing paper thing for all the people out there going, exactly.
Nice. So speaking of markers, I've got mine here. I got this from the Sublimation Summit from Ashley. So thank you very much. I love it. It's cool. Let's get a couple of the comments here. That Carolyn says, "I love the markers for my art that I create," and Cheryl says, "I'm so excited about the new colors." Carolyn follows up with, "I've achieved so many amazing results from the basic ones," and then, "Oh, I need that." So great stuff.
I'm sure part of the deal with having the extra pack of black markers too is that, you know, you're selling the 6-pack and everybody keeps running out. It's like Neapolitan ice cream. We're out of Neapolitan ice cream because all the chocolate's gone, right? Right. We still have plenty of vanilla and strawberry, but we're out.
Well, and black is actually the most used marker. And so especially when there's a group of people together, that black pack's really nice. And again, for those electronic cutting machines, it's nice to designate one for the handheld and one for that machine as well.
There are a lot of wheels spinning in people's heads right now when you mentioned that, because I'm sure not everybody knows. I'd never heard of that, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so one thing about sublimation, you know, back when I was printing it on 20-pound typing paper, we had to do it in reverse. So if you're using a marker, how does that work? Creating that reverse image.
I'm going to get the stencil while you
sure. So of course we thought about that, because one of the challenges that we had introducing this product is you know, the crafters, they didn't know what sublimation was. Sure. So not only did we say, here's a new product and you can create your own pillowcases, sequin bags, etc. We had to try to explain to them the mirroring effect. So we decided it was fairly simple. We came out with our own stencil, and it's all of the image is in reverse. That way that they can, the younger kids can actually use a stencil. We also came out with our own stamps. So your typical stamp is mirrored. These are non-mirrored. That way, when you do stamp them in your ink, put them on your piece of paper, you'll be able to get your image the correct way. And then they can take their markers and color in those images.
That's very cool. And these guys have lots of examples of what they're doing, holding them up for the camera, and all those letters in reverse. And so make sure you go over to the video version of this and take a look at these.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if Tonya mentioned this while I was out grabbing these, but we intentionally, had this cut and then of course packaged so that it showed the mirrored letters as opposed to the front ways. So it kind of helped them put the pieces together.
Stencil, you can use any stencil that you have. You just have to flip it over.
See, I thought the simple thing is these markers don't work with lettering.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's a couple other tricks. You can draw, put your name on a piece of paper and Sharpie, because a Sharpie will not transfer. Flip it over and then trace it with your marker. You can also use a light box. You can put your piece of paper up against a window.
That's a really good idea.
So many different ways.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, because that actually, that's really funny, because when Ashley handed me this, that's the first thing I thought about was like, I wasn't smart enough to figure out how to flip the thing over.
We have solutions for that. We have solutions for that.
Yeah. It's been 6 months now, so now I can actually use this to its full potential.
But you know the tricks.
Yeah, exactly.
Pro tips.
Pro tips.
And it's great when we're hosting a make and take, because this is so new to everybody. We always host a make and take at trade shows, and we want people to see. And when we tell them, oh, don't worry about, people are so used to going back and like erasing pencil marks and things like that. We say, leave those pencil marks there. It's no big deal. And they won't transfer. So it is fun to see how people learn and engage and try something new. It's great.
Yeah.
You should survey your customers and say, how many of you did your first image backwards?
A few. Well, we say that we just look at it and go, you just have to do it.
It's a learning experience.
Sure.
Yeah. So while we're talking about all these things that people are doing, maybe you guys could share some ideas with our listeners of different things that you guys have seen that have been cool, or projects. And, you talked about the make and take. In fact, Todd Downing says we have customers write their text on the back in regular marker, then trace it with submarkers on the front, like you guys had mentioned there, and that kids really get a kick out of these. So what other projects are you guys seeing? Tonya, why don't we start with you, and then Ashley, if you have some extra to follow in with.
Okay, so as far as projects that people are doing with the markers, you can make sequin. It will transfer onto sequin, as most people in the sublimation industry know, but a lot of the crafters don't know this. We also have these poly canvas zip cases that we had manufactured here in the US for us, and cool. People really love those. We see a lot of people doing projects with this. And then in craft, there's a lot of mixed media. So you can use heat transfer vinyl, the glitter vinyl, easy subli. And then we like to say to people, we have a very small selection of blanks for people. It's really to just get the newbies started. Sure. And then we want them to go over to our dealers' sites and really explore all of the different blanks that they're carrying, because, they've got 3,000 SKUs, for example,
sure,
of various different products that the markers will work on.
Yeah. And that's great. I mean, in fact, I think David's still tuned in. David can tell us how many SKUs they've got over there at Condi or wherever. It is amazing how many products that they have and all the different things that you can do. So, David, tell us how many SKUs you have if you're still tuned in. But
and we love their acrylic and glass blanks, because when it comes to us, then you don't have to mirror.
Right.
So that's why we love those acrylic blanks that Condi carries, because it makes that mirroring aspect out the door.
Yeah. You guys mentioned also sequins, and you're correct. There's been some beautiful work done on with sublimation on sequins, and I agree. A lot of people don't realize that's a product you can use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those flippable pillows are very popular right now. I think some of them call them mermaid pillows.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very popular.
And why do so many of them have Nicolas Cage face on them?
Right? or Michael Scott from The Office, like.
Right.
That's funny. So, Ashley, what other projects have you seen out there that kind of caught your eye?
So I think when before we came out with the full line, a lot of our markers were being put in the hands of some really great artists, which is really cool because, you know, the way it was done prior to us, you know, as many of the listeners probably know, they create something on a medium, they send that to a company, that company scans it in, and then they make, you know, multiples of that, and then they sell it at the local farmer's market or whatever. What's nice about us is it's truly one of a kind, right? So it's, you know, something that they did, and then as opposed, that might be something that they can do themselves. But what I like to see happen is if they're at the farmer's market, or you, your listeners, as they might be there. And I know right now farmer's markets aren't really happening because of everything that's going on. So, you know, I'd like to say when things are back to our new normal, whenever and however that may play out. But what's nice is you're at your local farmers market, you're trying to be that local sublimation business that people can go to for their kids' soccer pictures and things like that. Well, this is a way to get people in your booth, right? They might walk by and, you know, people see pictures on mugs all the time in a gift shop, and I always use that example. They don't know how it got there. They don't know how it works. They don't, you know, you're not toting your printer down to the farmer's market, understandably so. So what's nice is you can have these markers and things like that out, and they recognize that, right? And then they could maybe come up and you know, one of the comments that, you know, the kids love it, they grab it, and then you can show them, right, how it works. You can bring your press down and make something for them right there, and that's another stream of revenue. And also they understand that now they understand what's happening behind the scenes, right, back at your house with their photos and things of that nature. So it's a way for you guys to bring more people in as a way to just kind of show them, you know, why and how you fell in love with this industry in the first place.
Yeah, that's a great example. I love it. I love that thought. So David did chime in 15,009.
Wow, we'll have to use that number.
We're using that number.
Yeah, 15,000.
David, we appreciate, and we noticed it took you a couple of minutes. We appreciate the fact you ran back there and counted those. So.
Yeah, he counted every single one of them. It was amazing. That's plus. Don't forget the plus part. So probably new ones coming every day, knowing those guys over there. So, all right, cool. So. Tonya, real quick here, we kind of talked briefly about the stamp pads, but I don't think we really got into it. So maybe give us a little bit more on that. You know, is that the next evolution of the markers, or how did that come up?
Right. So everything's got its own special formulation. Like we mentioned before, we use plain paper. We don't really recommend using the inkjet paper, which ends up saving the consumer money, but also makes the product a little bit more versatile. So it's a simple black stamp pad, and the crafters definitely, and I shouldn't necessarily always call them crafters. They're really makers. The makers. Yeah, right. So. Stamping is done a little bit different now than I remember it being done, where you used to take a stamp and press it down. But we actually sell these acrylic blocks here, and these are photopolymer stamps. So you can take them off, replace them. Wow. Let me show you a little bit.
Yeah.
Up close, and there's grid lines here.
Oh,
so
wow.
You can see through this so that you can visualize where your stamp is going to go on your piece of paper, and no more just guessing, did I have it lined up or whatnot. So you take these acrylic blocks and you actually dab it on here this way, and then you stamp your piece of paper. I don't have it all. You might want to.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Is it true that all your stamps just say paid or past due? Or
yeah, we didn't go with that collection. We actually had one of our signature designers, Hedgehog Hollow. They actually designed. They're really popular in the craft industry, and they actually designed all of our stamps. So we have an alphabet stamp, and then we also just came out with the camp stamps. So camp stamps were really geared to all of the camps this summer, and so it gave the kids something new to do, especially on a rainy day. But as everybody knows, we're just unsure of what will happen. And I really feel badly for all of these camp directors and what they're going through, because it just doesn't look like we're gonna, and the parents that are gonna have the kids at home all summer.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like many of the summer camps are gonna happen this year.
Yeah. Ours here in St. Peters, Missouri, just was canceled, so everybody's frantically trying to figure out what to do. So.
Right.
But hey, we can still celebrate that opportunity. We may end up with 6 kids in our basement, so we can get some stamps and we can.
We can help you with that.
We will send you some stamps for sure. We'll keep the kids busy.
Perfect. Well, so we always talk about the future on the show, and Aaron and I do a couple of shows talking about predictions for the future and for the coming year. So, what do you guys see as the future of sublimation decorating? And Ashley, let's start with you on this.
Well, so the bridge between sublimation and crafting is getting shorter and shorter. I think there was a bridge. We'd like to think we're a part of that bridge, right? But I think that bridge existed just a little bit before us. I think with anything else in life, as you master it and learn it, you're eager to learn the next thing. And I think that's safe to say with this industry as well. So the crafters, once they've mastered the HTV and things like that, that's usually sublimation is the next thing that they're looking to get into. And the bridge between the two is getting shorter and shorter. And we're glad to be a part of that. So I think as far as the future goes, you're seeing a lot more of the craft shows include sublimation in that. So, and same with the other way around, right? Some of the shows that are more revolved around sublimation and maybe HTV are now, doing things that might appeal to the crafters more, maybe some printable HTV and things like that. So sure. I think that we'll see more of that, more of crossovers between the two. So I think that's a great thing. And then as Tonya continues to brainstorm over here about, more products, we'll definitely be rolling out more colors. We've already got 4 more box designs and colors picked out, and we'll roll those out at some point. So we're looking forward to doing that. And then if this is the stamp pad that we have right now. It's black. We figured that was the best to start with for like outlining and things like that. But if we see that they would like to see these in colors, we can all come out with cubes, which is a new thing to us as well. So another thing that crafters do is they have these small cubes. So maybe we'll do those in colors. There's lots of options and lots of directions we could go in.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I'd like to expand upon what Ashley said as well. I think that you're going to see a lot more people enter into the sublimation space using these products. And you're going to also see big box retail carrying these products. And that's going to greatly help out all of the dealers out there. The big box will essentially feed the dealer network, because people will go in that don't even know what sublimation is. They'll explore it. They'll use a few specific products, and then their curiosity will peak, and they'll start reaching out and looking at other places where they can buy additional products. So we're really excited to see that happen in the very near future.
That's cool. So Tonya,
yes,
we're just amongst friends here. It's just us, just the 4 of us. Nobody's really watching. Can you give us any secrets? What's coming down the pike that maybe that you can maybe share with some of us? I don't know.
Well, I can't tell you what's coming out, because we like to get our patents filed first, right?
Sure. That makes sense. That's smart. Okay, smart business. I got it.
So we do have other products that are in development in the laboratory now. So I have a great, amazing group of chemists downstairs in our laboratory, which is here in Sarasota, Florida.
Okay.
And nobody try to come over and recruit them, please.
No.
They're amazing, and they do really great work. And we do have some other products coming out after the stamp pads and the markers. They're all craft related.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I tried. I had to try, but appreciate you giving us that much. Yeah, it sounds like a really cool stuff coming on the horizon here. Had a question from one of the regulators here, Carolyn, who's actually a prolific user of your markers and is quite the artist. She says, "Can one order stamp blanks to cut your own?"
So this is a photopolymer. And what's great about it is you can wash the stamps and then reuse them as you want. So if she's asking, can we just have sort of a flat photopolymer sheet and then someone cut their own? We could do that, and that is
good
possible.
idea.
Actually, the brother has a
The brother scan and cut. Or is it this? I think the scan and cut.
Scan and cut will cut your own stamps for you. So you can put in your file, mirror it or non-mirror it, and have the brother machine cut your stamp. So yeah, you could make your own stamps.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. All right. There you go, Carolyn. So
I've been working hard over here on my.
I see that. That's awesome.
So just like traditional sublimation, the colors are a little muted. And I'm going to go and transfer this, and the just like sublimation, the directions don't change just because you're using markers and stamp pads. It's the same time, temp, and pressure that you use just like you normally would.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. All right. So live action happening here. I love it. This is wonderful.
I was actually going to say, for all of our podcast listeners, much crafting. Ashley has been just working away over here while we talk. So.
She's been pretty impressive because she's been talking and still creating at the same time. I can't do. It's like, hold on a second, Terry. Don't bother me. I'm crafting here.
That's why we had to get Eric. We couldn't push the button and talk at the same time.
Coloring is very therapeutic,
That is true.
Exactly right.
That is true.
So, and it's a great time, for those of you who are, professionals in this industry and you're home with your families. This is a great time to connect with them and show them, a way that they can have a hands-on experience with some of the things that, and love so well, and, something that they can relate to.
Cool.
And there's so many opportunities to interact with the public. Maybe, when as a screen printer, I would always bring in the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts and the Cub Scouts and the Campfire Boys and Girls to print a shirt. Well, you could certainly bring those groups in to create a coffee mug for Mother's Day or whatever, and or for your own company Christmas party. Everybody comes in and they get to create something while they're there. As you said earlier, the opportunities are really endless.
Yes, I totally agree. And what's really great about the listeners right now is a lot of them, they have the heat presses, they have the things like that. Sure. So they could even essentially host these. It could be another stream of revenue, or they could help their local groups fundraise.
Exactly.
We've got a project here.
Okay.
Love it.
So essentially the idea behind this was you're at Thanksgiving, right? Everybody does a square, and then if you've got someone that's talented in the family who can sew all those squares together.
And I recognized on there the old handprint turkeys.
Right. So. Can you tell that we had people around the office do it? Some of the people at the parent company, because these hands are very large.
Yes, they are. They are not just little kid hands.
those are butterball turkeys. Those are not.
The press isn't on, so. User error.
This is
it could be like one of those cooking shows. You just bring over something that's already done.
Well, we also have sorry for
no, you're good. You're good.
We've got the Easy Press too, which also works.
Okay.
Wow, but here's something if you're looking for something full color. This is a picture frame.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
That's wonderful. Cool. It's so cool. Yeah, just so many opportunities, and so I hope all of our listeners have really kind of got the creative juices flowing and are coming up with ways. I don't know, where this falls, and obviously you got to reach out to the dealers or how that works for you guys. But what would somebody be looking at for costs for like a marker?
Yeah. So the 6-pack of markers retails for $19.99. Our original 10-pack is a little different than the new 6-packs. Obviously, there's a difference in number of markers. That's retailing right now at $29.99. But the original 10-pack, we went through extensive testing there, and that is children approved. Cool. So that's our only pack right now that is children approved. The other packs are ages 14 and up. So, we want to make sure we market that original 10-pack for, your camps and your schools and your other younger communities.
Sure.
And if you choose to, implement these into some group things, again, when we're allowed to gather and things of that nature, if anybody asks, it's for specifics, it's 9 and up. And the reason that they chose age 9 for approval is because the way they test it, it's for the project in its entirety. So, that means including the heat press. So that's why, so they decided that a 9-year-old could use a heat press. I don't know whose decision that was, but that's why it's 9. If anybody wants to know why it's 9 years old, that is why.
Yeah. So the markers, I'm sure. Yeah. So don't let your 9-year-old use a heat press. We're going to,
you can. Apparently you can. So
apparently you can. I'm not willing to make that jump on this show here. So, but it made, my brain's kind of going too. And I'm thinking, okay, if you get a 10-pack and you divide that up, even though we can't come together, why can't I ship those out to somebody, let them do something, have a return envelope in there? And I'm just adding value to a product with very little added cost. It seems like we could really kind of do some cool things with this here. So,
oh, yeah. And one of the things that we really wanted these camps, we'd really like to see the camps do is sort of promote a camp to go, like we're a camp to go kit, right? Where they can they already know who all of the kids are that we're going to be in their program, and they could create something and have the kids work on that at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's incredible.
Via Zoom, what projects they've done.
I love it. We could do that with one of our cocktail parties, Terry. We'd all have to draw something towards the end of the cocktail.
Make your own coasters for a cocktail party.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
And I was going to say something else that's just been so popular, and we see these businesses that are very up and coming, is do-it-yourself workshops. And so what's great about your listeners, if they're looking to see how they could, become a part of this, is those do-it-yourself workshops. When they see our products, they love them. They want to implement them into their stores, teach a class and then have the retail ready products. But something that would add a lot of value that we essentially, really, aren't doing at the moment, and that your listeners could offer from a local standpoint, is sublimation printouts outlined. So that way the black transfers and people can just color it in. Letters can be mirrored. They could come up with something that's specific to their town, like maybe their area code or zip code, mirror that for them. They could color it in. It could all be sized down to the type of blanks that do-it-yourself workshop has. And then that could be a stream of revenue, and they could essentially charge the do-it-yourself workshops for those pieces of paper.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You're seeing, like you said, coloring is therapeutic, and you're seeing, an increase in like the adult coloring books. So, you can do that across the board. That's so cool.
Not all of those are PG, So.
Okay. Now I've got to go look.
And then, and you also have your the Greek life, right? All of these sororities and fraternities that are making their own T-shirts, their hats, their beer mugs, whatnot. Yes.
Sure. That's a great idea. Great idea. So we have a question from one of the regulars here. Todd Downing says, what's the lifespan of the markers?
Sure. That's a common question, and it really depends on how you treat your marker. Are you keeping the cap on the marker? How often are you using it? Are you coloring a full page or whatnot? But if you were to draw, we do have these tested. That's part of the qualification of the markers. If you were to draw a straight line, it would extend 4 football fields, so around 400. It's 400 meters, correct? So there's special laboratory equipment where you'll take a marker and you'll put it on, and it just rotates and rotates and rotates until you're going to lose quality, and that would be about 400 meters.
That's awesome. That's a ton.
Yeah, that is a lot.
That was not a unique question. Apparently, that was a common question. So,
But it's so ambiguous as well, because I don't know, are you coloring a full page
Sure.
or are you just
Doing a lot of
drawing,
keychains.
doodling, right?
Yeah.
right, right.
Well, 400 meters worth of coloring that full page, right? Awesome. Well, guys, this has been fantastic. What a wonderful amount of information. And I really feel like everybody's creativity, all the comments here, people are really getting creative ideas going here. So where can listeners find out more about Artesprix and each of you? So Tonya, we can start with you if that's okay.
Sure. Artesprix.com. And then, of course, they can always reach out to me. I don't know if you want me giving my email out, but I will be
totally up to you.
Sure. It's there's info@artesprix.com. My email's Tonya@artesprix.com, and then Ashley's is Ashley@artesprix.com.
Or you can also find me at sales@artesprix.
But one where you actually can see us and meet us in person and talk to us is going to be in September. That's our next event, and that's going to be Cheryl's event actually at the Sublimation Summit.
Cool.
So that will, I believe that's the second weekend of September. So we're really excited to be there. I think we may teach a class as well, and then visit a lot of our dealers that will be at the show.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then in addition, when we made this full line of Sublimation Arts and Crafts, we said, well, what kind of craft company would we be without a craft room? So we made this craft room. And it is a full functioning craft room, except only when you turn the heat press on, though. So, but we just started our YouTube channel. There's project and product videos on the YouTube channel. When I say just, I mean like in the last few weeks. And we are looking forward to eventually reaching 1,000 subscribers. That way we can come to you live from this lovely craft room.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, just use StreamYard in the meantime, Ashley. So.
Perfect.
Okay, good to know. Yeah.
There you go. Let me know if you have any questions about it. We've been using it for about 3 years. So.
Write that down.
Yep, there you go. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time today. What a wonderful information. I'm excited. And cocktail party coloring is coming soon to decorators community. So.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
We enjoyed being on.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. All
Great.
right.
Have a great week.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Have a great weekend.
That
was awesome.
That was awesome, man. I'm excited. In fact, I think we just wrapped this up and let's go color something, Terry.
I know.
I'm terrible at coloring, but you know what? Hey, I'll figure it out.
I'd like to be coloring, but I think my assignment after this is put on a t-shirt and go out and finish getting the pool ready, because I'm echoing everyone because Kim and I just bought a new house, and we got the keys yesterday afternoon, and so there's nothing in here. That's why I'm echoing.
yeah, very different sound from Terry, and different lighting. So anyhow, all right. So let's get a couple other notes here, some other events, Terry, and then we will wrap it up for the day. We just about on time, maybe a little bonus time here, but thank you very much to all the regulators too. Great comments and good stuff going on. And we couldn't get to every single comment, but I can tell everybody's excited. So definitely check out Artesprix and all of that. Let's see here. Things are changing as we go here. Breaking news. No, not breaking news. Eric, let me start with the second thing on his list here first. So Eric's got his show happening today at 2:30 Mountain Time, which would be 3:30 Central Time, the standard time everybody uses, right, Terry?
The world revolves around Central Time, specifically, apparently, Missouri.
No. All right. 2:30 Mountain Time is where Eric's time zone there, and it's
Mountain Daylight Time.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
in Mountain Standard Time.
That's okay. We're going to go way off the rails if we go here. So anyhow, Eric's show, The Take Up, today it's all about the jargon of design and embroidery. So going to be a good conversation happening over at 2:30 Mountain Time. And you can catch that at facebook.com/Eric.Campbell. And that's ERICH.Campbell. So make sure you get that H on there.
Rich.
Rich. You knew it was coming, Eric. Also, he did a.
Don't blame me, blame your mom.
Also, Eric did a fantastic webinar. I don't know, it's been a few weeks, maybe a month or so ago now, but it seems like it was just yesterday because it was really awesome. And he planned it for 3 hours, then it ended up being close to 4 hours because it was just so incredible. So called Demystifying Next Level Digitizing. And it's one of Eric's most popular classes from the now not happening trade show floors. So this is the perfect way to still get that information. He talks about better running, bolder, more beautiful embroidery with a faster cycle time from concept to completion. So if you want to check that out and be able to get all that information, plus the great packet of information he sends along with the actual training video itself, you can sign up for that at bit.ly/Eric DD. And again, that's Eric with an H, ERICH, and then the letters DD. So Eric DD. So that's what Eric's got happened. What about you, Terry?
Well, most of my events have been pushed off into the far future. So my next complete screen printing business course classes, I'm going to be at Workhorse Products in Phoenix, August 22nd and 23rd. I'll be at Atlas Screen Supply in Chicago, September 19th and 20th, and other events being shuffled around. So I'll keep you updated on that. My seminars at ISS shows, as I said, they're still on. They're just shifting here and there. So I'll announce that a little later on. Everything I'm doing, you can find at terrycombs.com under the tab tour dates, and ever changing and always ever updating. How about you, Aaron?
The most of what I've got going on right now is our success group. In fact, I actually transferred this myself this morning. So thanks, Todd, for the vinyl. So oursuccessgroup.com, we're working hard. We've got a new website that we're trying to get live here. And we've got a new program. We're calling it the Success Tracker program that our goal is to have it launched by the 15th of May. Fingers crossed that I can get that done, and we can get that done. Todd's working hard with me on that. So stay tuned for that, but that's over at oursuccessgroup.com. And then other announcement that I just want to make sure everybody's aware of, those of you that are podcast listeners, we are going to be switching our Apple podcast. It used to be, I can't remember what they used to call it, but the Apple podcast stream is going to be moved. We started this thing 8 years ago with a service called Blog Talk Radio, and that's where everything got set up through. And we've been able to move everything else away from that except for the Apple podcast. So we finally got that to where we have a separate new stream. So this will be one of the last couple of shows that you'll be able to catch on that old stream. So just make sure that you're getting over and switching over to the new stream. Just go to tworegularguys.com/Apple, APPLE, just as it sounds there. Go to tworegularguys.com/Apple, and that'll be the new feed. So you can subscribe from that area there. If you go to our website and you go to the Apple Podcast subscribe button on there as well, that takes you to the new feed. We don't have the old feed listed anywhere anymore, but you're just going to have to update your phone. So we'll get a closing episode recorded.
And one of you will reach out to us and say, "Hey, I can't find you guys anymore."
Yeah,
this is why.
every I've been getting you guys for every Friday, and then it stopped. So we're not going away. It's just that. So anyhow, I tried.
You just got to go with us.
Yeah, exactly. So I tried to over-explain that. Hopefully that did not confuse everybody. But again, just go to tworegularguys.com/Apple. All right, Terry. Well, boy, what a fantastic day. Great information.
Yeah,
I think we should go ahead and close this out. Let you get to work on the new house. Congratulations on that,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
It's the pictures I saw, I'm super excited to come visit. So can't wait for that. And so thanks very much to Tonya and Ashley from Artesprix for joining us today. Make sure you get over there to their website, their social media channels, check out their YouTube page, get subscribers over there, and give them lots of kudos for all the information that they shared with us here today. So thanks to them.
Absolutely. We also want to thank our show producer, Eric Campbell. You can find Eric at ericcampbell.com, and our sponsor, Impressions Expo.
Yeah, thanks very much to both of them. Next week, Terry, we're going to welcome back Christine Shreve, who's with Christine Shreve Consulting. And instead of the usual women in garment decorating, what do we call that? Panel discussion, I guess, would be
right. Where we start and just walk away and let them go.
yeah. This we're actually going to be interviewing Christine this time, just Christine for this go around. Don't worry, there's more of the panel discussions coming soon. I think sometime in June, if I remember right, off the top of my head. But next week, it's just Christine. We're going to talk to her about how to know when it's time to jump. She recently made a jump into Christine Shreve Consulting, and so she has firsthand knowledge about that. And we're gonna. Some of you that have a day job out there and are doing this as a side hustle, this is going to be fantastic information for you to kind of, how do you get over that fear? How do you know when it's the right time? All of that good information coming from Christine next week.
All right. Until then, I'm Terry Combs. He's Aaron Montgomery.
And we are the Two Regular Guys. Thank you for listening to Two Regular Guys. Check out our website at tworegularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/tworegularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/tworegularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, tworegularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.